All right, everyone. Good afternoon. Sorry for that delay. Going from one calendar to the next. And we will get started.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Just so that everyone would know, the reset date for the SAP calendar is November the 28th.
All right, hold on one second. All right, everyone. This is the
State expedited.
I had a brain freeze. This is the Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. Today is the November the 16th. I'm Judge Regina Mincy, and we're going to begin with cases in which individuals have been recently arrested for certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused these cases of the offenses brought against them, and they have been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge, so we are able to address bond, possible arraignment, and a possible plea offer if one has been made at this juncture. We have the reset date for November 28th. I want to also remind the defendants on this calendar that you have certain constitutional rights. The first being that you have a right to have representation at this stage. You should all know who your attorneys are at this point, so listen to them. You also have a second constitutional right, and that is you have the right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts, the circumstances, and the occurrence of your case can and will be held against you. And the state is here and they're listening. So again, govern yourselves accordingly. Listen to your attorney. One other thing that I forgot to mention is that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube. So again, govern yourselves accordingly. All right. First case, who do we have? I don't know if the jail is ready because we were still
Position two.
Okay.
Ms. Boykin.
This is 23 CR 00707-1A, Diamond Boykins, charged with one count of criminal trespass. Pretrial?
15 total, 2023 probation. On probation in the cab, criminal attempt to commit a felony. She was also arrested this year for PI and trespass. Trespass no-low 2023 parole violation, and a 2017 disorderly conduct conviction. This was level 3. That's it.
All right. State?
Yes, Your Honor. On November 14th, officers responded to a criminal trespass at 2800 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. The defendant climbed through the window in the front living room window of Randy McBee. The apartment is in his mother's name, Miss Oki. The defendant was asked multiple times to leave the apartment by Mr. Magby, but she refused. Then the owner of the house, his mom, came home and stated that she wants to press charges. The state's recommendation, Your Honor, is a signature bond through pretrial services, and the conditions will be stay away from 2800 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, Southwest Atlanta. No further contact with, let me spell the name. This is the mother. Her first name is Pacquin and last name Oke. And the defendant, Randy, and then let me spell the last name, Magby. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol. And can we, Your Honor, sound for the victims at this time?
All right. The victims, I'm not sure how to pronounce the names. Pacquin, Oke, and Randy, is it Amdy?
Yes, Your Honor. Magby, M-A-G-B-Y.
M-A-G.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. No
All right,
further
thank you. All right. Ms. McLeod, is your case?
Yes, Your Honor. We have no objections to the state's recommendation for bond.
Okay. All right. I will grant the, let me ask this one quick question, Ms. McLeod. Is Ms. Boykins working or anything?
She isn't currently employed, Your Honor.
Okay. Let me give her a signature bond in the amount of $2,500 and signature bond through, I guess I'll just make it through the jail. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Stay away from 2800 MLK Drive Southwest, and no further contact with the victims in the case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Judge, what was the dollar amount for the bond?
2,500 SOB jail.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
We have also Oconee County online. They can go next.
Okay.
I'm
Who do
not,
we have? Who do we have in Oconee County?
they still need to be interviewed though.
Okay.
They probably do. That's gonna be position number. That's position 3. Brown.
Brown.
Yes.
Whose case is that?
That's my case, Your Honor, Georgia Kassadakis.
Okay, from the PD's office.
It is my case, Your Honor, and I haven't had a chance to talk.
All right, so you need a breakout. That's
Yes.
Ms. Strong, Ms. McLeod, and then the Oconee County Jail. They need a breakout. Oh, it's
Where's
Mr.
the
Jordan.
breakout?
No, it's Miss Strong. I don't see it.
See it
It's
at
me,
the
Judge.
top.
Who needs the breakout? I'm sorry.
I got it. Mark.
Oconee County Jail at the top, next to Ms. Holly on my screen, and then
Okay.
McLeod.
Also, Judge, this is gonna be position 8, Spires.
Okay. This is 23 CR 007099F. Denisha Spires, 1 count of giving false information to law enforcement. Hold on. And then there's possession of marijuana less than an ounce, driving while license suspended or revoked, and obscured or missing license plate. So there's 4 charges. Is that correct?
That's
Yes,
correct.
Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, pre-trial.
2022 was the last arrest. Fleeing an officer, obstruction, possession of drug-related objects, crossing state county guard lines with weapons, intoxicants without consent, possession of marijuana with intent, felony obstruction. She's on probation for those charges. Out of Hall County, 2019 suspended license, another 2019 suspended license arrest, 2019 suspended license no-low, 2014 probation, and a 2010 ag battery robbery conviction. This was level 3. That's
And
it.
what was the total number? Was it about 10 or so?
I didn't even write down the total number.
Any count?
I didn't.
Okay.
I
All right.
think
Go ahead, State.
Oh.
Huh?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I think it's 11 cycles in Florida and 6 cycles in Georgia.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. The facts of this case, Your Honor, law enforcement conducted a traffic stop on the defendant at 158 Peachtree Street, Southwest Atlanta, who had an expired tag. This tag was obscured by a tag frame, making it very difficult to see information on the temporary tag. The defendant told officer that she did not have her license on her and she gave a false name of Horton, which is not her name. Then she later admitted that this was a false name and informed the officer of her real name, Spires. She also admitted to having marijuana on her person, and she was smoking something else to mask the odor of the marijuana. She was removed from the vehicle, and a bag of marijuana was recovered from under her driving seat. And the GCIC revealed also that her license was currently suspended. Your Honor, the state will be asking for a signature bond through the jail with the conditions of no driving without a valid license and a proper license plate, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Give
Thank
me
you.
your recommendation one more time.
Yes, Your Honor, it's a signature bond through the
Mhm.
jail with the conditions of not driving without a valid license and a valid license plate, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. BB Kim.
Your Honor, no objection.
All right. I will grant the signature bond through the jail. First charge, $500. Second charge, $500. Third charge, $500. Fourth charge, $500. So it's a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Is that correct? Yes.
Yes.
And no driving unless you have a valid Georgia driver's license or a valid tag, or registration, should I say. So otherwise, no driving, and no guns, alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. And that should be it.
You're the bond. Total bond of judge is 2,000 SOB to the jail, correct?
Yes, that is.
You do. Judge, she has a question.
Yes.
Oh, give me a call or I'll call you. I'll explain to you. Please do not say
For the
anything.
judge. No, it's a question for the judge. It's just.
No. Please, do not say anything because right now you have the best deal. So
It has nothing to do with my sentencing.
Well, then there's nothing else I need to answer. I'm only answering a question that is regarding this case before us. These 4 charges are your bond conditions. So if it's something else, I probably won't be able to answer it anyway. So you need to ask her.
To do with the driver's license.
please do not say anything.
Well, you don't have one, so.
I won't say nothing.
Right. You don't have a driver's license, no driving. There's Uber, there's Lyft, and there's MARTA. So that's how you should be getting around until you get a driver's license. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Hey, Miss Kim, she wants to give you a call, so
Sure, absolutely.
you'll call
Definitely.
him 223-92.
Sure.
Position 1, Baker.
This is 23 CR 0070997A. Roderick Baker, charged at 1 count of simple assault, family violence, pretrial.
4th arrest, 2021 FTA. The other 2 arrests were driving with suspended license. This was level 1.
All right. State.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident stems from March 13th, 2022. Officers responded to a fight in progress. They spoke to a victim, a Miss Kenyetta Holmes Clark. She stated that her and her ex-boyfriend, the defendant, broke up. He said he was going to leave if she gave him his money back. When she gave him his money back, he became angrier. Ms. Clark said the defendant then locked her in the bathroom, took her phone and keys. He then started screaming, putting his finger in Ms. Clark's face, pushing and poking her in the face, which caused her to scream. The children that were present ended up calling 911. The state is looking for a signature bond through pretrial, a stay away from 1/6 690 Dairy Ave. And no further contact with Kenyatta Holmes Clark. 1 day anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond, and we can sound for the victim when appropriate.
All right, just the victim on this Roderick Baker case. I did not write down the name.
Kenyatta Holmes Clark.
Kenyatta Holmes Clark on the call. All right, go ahead, PD Abden.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So although the recommendation is pretrial signature bond, I'm requesting a signature bond through the jail, given that this is a Riverside issue. On Wednesday, November 8th, my client was a passenger in a vehicle that got pulled over. When he provided law enforcement with his information, DeKalb police arrested him on this warrant only. He was not charged with anything else. And he was held at the DeKalb County Jail from Wednesday, so last Wednesday, until he was picked up yesterday, booked into our jail. And so he's been waiting a very long time to receive bond, and there's no reasonable explanation for the delay. I also obtained documentation from DeKalb County showing all of this. I'm happy to share it with the court or the state if necessary.
Do you have that information, State?
I'm only seeing the booking from 2 days ago. Looks like he was,
I'll just send
I was saying yesterday, actually, he was booked in at 4:23 p.m., but I'm looking.
And Your Honor, I can just proceed with the bond argument in the meantime, if you prefer.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So my client was held, let's see, because he was held for this past week, he lost his job. He also lost a job opportunity. He was working as a sandblaster, and he missed an interview for a job at a chemical lab. He is 38 years old, and he's been living in Georgia for the past 7 years. So he does have strong ties to the community. He has a valid Georgia address. He understands his obligation to return to court for his next court date, and he qualifies for a public defender. So he's not a flight risk at this time. He does firmly deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. This incident allegedly occurred in March of 2022. He hasn't had any contact with the complaining witness since July of 2022. So he would not object to a no further contact provision. He's now happily engaged to someone else, Your Honor. He's living with his fiance, who has a 5-year-old son. He also has a 12-year-old daughter who lives in Florida. And then there's no objection to the stay away from the incident location if it's necessary. To my understanding, that was an Airbnb where they were residing temporarily together when this incident allegedly occurred. And also based on the pretrial report, he doesn't have any prior convictions, open cases, or arrests for anything that's violent. It's just traffic offenses. And I believe that the FTA happened while he did not have stable housing, and that has been resolved since then. So there is no substantial risk of reoffending or risk of intimidation or danger to the complaining witness or the community. So I am requesting a signature bond through the jail.
All right.
Miss Ab, can she send the paperwork for the
Absolutely.
Yeah, because we don't have it.
I got you. Hold on.
All right. While you're doing that, I'll go ahead and give a ruling at 2,500 signature bond. And that signature bond will be through the jail. And no, well, it's been over a year. I see March of 2022, but I'll just say no further contact with the victim. Stay away from that Airbnb location just to be on the safe side. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just sent an email with that information to both you and ASG Dunlop.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Judge, position 3 is ready for Okani.
Okay.
Mr. Brown.
This is 23 CR 007103A. Isaiah Brown. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your first name. In charge of 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property. Pretrial.
Hey, he's been in custody since August on some CP charges. Robbery, ag assault, probation. That's all.
All right. State.
Yes, Your Honor, the defendant was arrested for being in possession of a stolen vehicle. During a search of that vehicle, the officer located multiple items that belonged to the victim, Jim Mario Harris, including a backpack, important documents, small tools, medication, work uniform, and a laptop. All items were returned back to the victim, other than the laptop. So basically, it was like 2 incidents. The victim said that his car was broken into overnight, and then another victim in an unrelated incident reported that his vehicle was stolen, and then the defendant was seen by an undercover cop who was watching him. And also, I want to tell the court that the vehicle was stolen by force, and the defendant was seen parking the vehicle and attempting to flee the area before being caught. The state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial services, a stay away from 2353 Baywood Drive, BAYWOOD Drive, Atlanta, Georgia. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond. No contact with the victim, Jim Mario Harris. And when it's appropriate, Your Honor, may we sound for the victim, Jamario Harris.
Jamario Harris. Jamario Harris. Nope. All right. Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor, we have no objections to the state's recommendations in this case.
All right. I will order a $2,000 signature bond. I will order that signature bond be through pretrial. And I'm sorry. Yes, let me order it through pretrial once I'm monitoring. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Is there a particular level on this here as far as through pretrial?
Let's see what pretrial says. Pretrial?
Give me 1 moment.
Okay.
I have to see what the level was when he got here in August, because I have no idea.
Oh.
Hold on.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, did we also say the no contact with the victim, Jamario Harris?
I did, or I was. It just may not have gotten there yet.
You did, Your Honor.
I did. I thought so. All right. No further contact with the victim. I would say no driving of a vehicle unless he purchases it, but I won't go that far quite yet, or has rightful possession of it.
So, yeah, he gonna be sent for a minute though. But the level is 3, and he 18, so he would need a cosigner.
Ah, he's 18.
Yes, Your Honor. And he does not have a cosigner.
Who is that?
He does not. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, he can't get out till he finds a cosigner. Where's his family?
Your Honor, he does have a sister, but all he had for her was a phone number. He does not know where his mom is, and his dad is incarcerated.
All right, I won't let him out till he gets a cosigner. That person comes forward, you can provide that information to us, Ms. McLeod, or to the jail. And I'm gonna give him a curfew as well. And that curfew will be from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. I don't know if he's still in school, he graduate or not.
He actually was going to Atlanta Area Tech at the time of the arrest, Your Honor.
To get a GED or because he's
No, he was in college, so was my understanding.
Oh, okay, so he does. All right. So with that curfew, that should give him enough time to get to class and get back home. If he's going to still be doing that, he needs to continue to get some type of certificate or degree from Atlanta Tech. May not make it a part of his requirements, but certainly the curfew. And let's keep trying to get in contact with the cosigner.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
What's your level?
I don't know, 2 maybe, 1 or 2. What do you suggest? Or I have to make that decision, I guess.
It was 3. So I
Oh,
mean,
it was 3.
whatever you want.
Right.
But the recommendation was 3.
All right. Let's just go with level 3. Maybe we'll get him back on track.
Position 4, Burgess.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my
you.
business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Case number 23 CR 007101B. Amadi Burgess, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass and damage to property, a 2nd count possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Pre-trial.
I got first arrest.
Okay.
Jail was a recommendation.
All right. State.
Yes, Your Honor. Law enforcement responded to a burglary call at 3586 Jackson Street, Atlanta. Upon arrival, the officers cleared the location, which is currently unoccupied, but belonged to the victim, Michael Clark. Inside the location, the defendant was observed sitting on the floor. He was detained and then escorted out of the location. The defendant was read his Miranda rights and asked how he entered the location. He said that he kicked the door open because he was cold and he needed somewhere warm to sleep. The officers observed visible footprints on the rear door as well as damage to the door frame, estimated about $200. After they searched the defendant, they found marijuana and he agreed that it was drugs. My office spoke with the victim, who is the property owner. He says the location is vacant, but the door is damaged and there were further damages beyond the $200, including the kitchen and the closets were trashed, and there was the defendant used the restroom everywhere on the floor. The victim said that it was going to cost him around $3,000 to get everything fixed. The victim does not know the defendant and did not invite him to the residence. The victim stated that he wants the defendant to stay away from the residence. The state's recommendation, Your Honor, is a signature bond through pretrial services. And the conditions will be to stay away from that location, 3586 Jackson Street, Atlanta, Georgia. No further contact with Michael Clark. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while on bond. And whenever it's appropriate, Your Honor, may we sound for the victim, Michael Clark. That's all.
All right, the victim, Michael Clark. Do you wish to address the court today, Mr. Clark?
Yes, ma'am. The only thing I would say is...
Hold on a second. I have to swear you in first. Raise your right hand. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, put your hand down. What would you like to say?
I would like to say that these units have been broken in several times, so I don't necessarily know that this defendant was the cause of all this damage. Some of it surely, but not all of it. And we're still assessing the damage in this particular unit.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Go ahead, PD Abden.
Thank you. My client is 25 years old. He was born here in Georgia. He's been living in Georgia for the past 3 years consistently. He has his mom here, his uncle, and other family, so he does have strong ties to the community. He's been residentially insecure for the past 5 months, and he is now going to be living with his uncle here in Georgia once he's released from custody. So now that he has stable housing and at an address here in Georgia, understands his obligation to return to court, and also qualifies for public defender's office. He is not a flight risk. He is currently unemployed, so his indigency is a concern, Your Honor. He was supposed to have a job interview today at Checkers, and he also has an interview coming up with Amazon early next week. My client does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant, specifically that he caused any damage to the door. He stated that the door was ajar, and as you've heard from the complaining witness, they suspect that other people may have been staying there. So given the fact that he has no prior criminal history at all, he doesn't pose a risk of danger to the complaining witness or the public, and there's no risk of reoffending while out on bond. I am requesting a signature bond through the jail, and he would not object to a stay away and a no further contact.
All right. I will grant the signature bond through the jail on the first charge of $1,500, on the second charge $500. So that will be a $2,000 SOB jail. I'm going to order a stay away from the incident location. He comes back there, needs to be arrested. So should not be back there. I think you said he has somewhere to stay now, someone to live with.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what address he needs to be residing at. Also, no further contact with the victim. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Since he's 25, I won't give him a curfew, but hopefully he will be able to find employment. All right, I think that's it. Just make sure you keep his address current.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position 5K.
Hold on 1 second, please. All right. What position are we on?
This
Your Honor.
number 5, Cade.
All right. 23 CR 007-102F, Anthony Cade. Pretrial.
14 total. Last was 2022, simple battery family violence. That's open in state court. 22 CR 002-948F. Probation violations from 2011, 2013, and a 2010 battery DV, cruelty to children conviction. That's all.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Law enforcement was dispatched to 3230 Cushman Circle, Southwest Atlanta, to investigate a report of a theft from a car. Upon arrival, the victim, Miss Raven Gilbert, told the officer that she left her vehicle there the night before, and when she returned the next day, the passenger seat rear window had been broken in, and her cell phone that she left in the car was missing. The phone's location was tracked to an address in Zone 1. An officer observed a camera in a window that may have captured all this incident. Further investigation revealed the defendant had illegally retained the stolen iPhone and was arrested a few months later on November 15th, 2023, in which he was found on a scene in an area where police were conducting an undercover surveillance operation. And he was detained by plainclothes officers. The state's recommendation, Your Honor, is a $2,000 surety bond with the conditions of a no further contact with Raven Gilbert, a stay away from 3230 CUSHMAN Circle, Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And whenever it's appropriate, Your Honor, may we sound for the victim, Raven Gilbert.
All right. Raven Gilbert. Raven Gilbert. Nope. PD or PD. Tell me how to pronounce it because I do not want to get it wrong.
Hoda Atai.
Atai. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is a 33-year-old father of 6. He is currently, takes care of a 13-year-old, 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a newborn child. He denies the allegations. He's charged with theft by receiving, so it's related to the return of a cell phone. And he states that he denies those allegations. So he is caring for the 4 children. He has a newborn. The mother of his children has recently had surgery, so she's relying on him. The kids have not been able to go to school while he's been in custody. He does have a GED through the Job Corps. He has 2 full-time jobs, works as a forklift operator at a warehouse, and then also a night shift job at churches. He's lived in Georgia all his life. And we're asking for a signature on bond through the jail, and he wouldn't object to a stay away.
All right. I'm going to order a $2,000 surety bond. And with that surety bond, there'll be the stay away from 3230 Cushman Circle, Southwest. No further contact with the victim, Raven Gilbert. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I believe that'll be it. Okay.
10%. Position 7, Johnson.
$23 CR 007-100Y. Brandon Johnson, charged with 1 count of simple battery. Pretrial.
17 total. Got a probation violation from this year. Got an open case for battery, terrorist threats, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, discharge of firearms on property or another, trespass, use of a firearm by convicted felon during the commission, 23 SC 189-911 is the case number. On probation for burglary, criminal damage to property. This should time out in December, but it may have already timed out. 15 SC 136388 is that case number. Got a couple of probation violations from 2023, 2022, 2021. 2018 ag assault battery, possession of a knife conviction. 2014 failure to appear. 2013 theft by receiving no load. That's it.
Right. State.
Thank you, Your Honor. So this charge was actually amended to a simple battery of family violence. The amended accusation has been filed. This occurred on the 15th of November. Officers responded to a domestic violence call at 4050 Wendell Drive Southwest. They spoke to the manager of the hotel, Miss Carla Jones. She stated that the defendant was saying he was going to throw, I'm guessing the victim, and Miss Tuesday Smith's things out of her room. When Miss Jones approached the door, she saw the defendant swinging the hands at the victim and Miss Tuesday Smith. Miss Smith stated that they were in a verbal argument. The defendant started swinging at her face and hit her in the chest several times. He was also throwing plates. The defendant had a previous aggravated assault case in 2019, which is a 10-year sentence for, I guess, assault with deadly weapon against a different woman. There's also an open battery family violence with the same victim. He was supposed to have no contact with her. That is from, I have to get that case number. I don't see it right now, but the bond we're looking for is a $10,000 surety bond. No further contact with the victim, Tuesday Smith, a stay away from the incident location, Efficiency Lodge, a stay away from the home address of Miss Smith, 862 McDaniel Street, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. And I have noted that he was out on the previous case that he has open on a $20,000 bond. And I do have the case number of the open felony case. That's with the DA's office if needed.
All right. PD Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Mr. Johnson, is 34 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia. Your Honor, he has two minor children that he is supporting right now, 8 and 13 years old. He's gainfully employed at Corner Tavern as a cook and chef. He completed GED. Your Honor, we have no objection to stay away and have no further contact with Miss Tuesday Smith. They do not live together. And my client says 862 McDaniel Street is actually his place, and she does not reside there. So we would like to double check with law enforcement officer. And if he verifies that he or she officer verifies that Miss Tuesday Smith does not live there, we would like to make sure that he is able to return home. And we ask for maximum $1,000 good bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I may, the victim advocate did speak to the victim. She is living at that address, and the previous open or bond order stated that he was supposed to stay away from that address as well. It's also noted that he has been calling her, threatening her, and we can sound for the victim. She said she would be on Zoom. Not sure if she's here.
All right. Tuesday Smith. Is Tuesday Smith on the Zoom? Tuesday Smith. All right, I guess she's not on. I'm going to go ahead and rule. I will order a $2,000 surety bond. With that surety bond, there will be no further contact with the victim, Tuesday Smith. There'll be a stay away from 862 McDaniel Street. No drugs, alcohol, guns, or weapons while on bond. And I guess that'll be it. I will possibly, I don't even know, since there's been a previous stay away order. Seems like he should have all his things out. I would do the one-time escort, but I don't even know that I should do that at this point, since this is the second case. That's the best I can do is let him do one-time escort to return to get any personal items. But I'm not going to say that he can live there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, can we also ask for him to stay away from the incident location? It looks like there was some contact with the manager. That was the Efficiency Lodge.
We have no objection, Your Honor.
All right. I'll add that to the stay away.
You're done. Judge, I do have a quick announcement. Position 6, bond has been paid.
Okay.
And that's it. We're completed here in courtroom 2.
Whew, long day.
Yes.
All
You made it.
right. Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
Okay. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is November 28th. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through the jail. Now, these levels are somewhat new to me. When we go through the jail, is there a certain level that I have to put down? Or is that only through pretrial?
Only through pretrial.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so position number 2 is reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through the jail. Position number 3 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial level 3. Position 4 is reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 5 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 6 is reset further notice as the defendant has been released. Position 7 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. And 8 is being reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through the jail. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
What was the bond for number 3 again?
I'm sorry?
Number 3. What was the
Number
bond?
3 was a $2,000 SOB through pretrial, level 3.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Nice short day, everybody.
Okay, yes, we needed that.
Yes.